Always look on the bright side of life. Always look on the light side of life.
Hey, Jerry, how you doing today?
Doing great. I'm looking on the positive. It's the right side. How you doing, Janie?
I'm fabulous. I like laughter. I'm on the light side.
Hey, you know what that means?
I think that means we're always looking on the bright side of life.
Always look on the bright side of life. Always look on the light side of life.
I'm so excited. The show's about to begin.
So am I, with my straw hat and cane.
I got my tap shoes on. We're ready to go.
Come on, everybody. It's time for the show.
Always look on the bright side of life. Always look on the bright side of life.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome, and thank you for tuning into our version of September's On the Bright Side. Jane Degenshine and Jerry Marino. I'm Janie, and you're... Hopefully it's Jerry.
How are you?
I am fine. More importantly, how are you for that 10 seconds? Where were you, mister?
I'm here, but Skype is not. But we're having a good time here in North Carolina. Just came back from a National Federation of the Blind of North Carolina convention. Just celebrated Madeline's birthday.
Oh, happy birthday, Madeline.
Yeah, we sang happy birthday to her at the camp. As a matter of fact, we did it twice. Beautiful surrounding. It's a Lions Club facility.
Good.
But how's your how was your summer?
Is good. My friend is good too. Actually, tonight was my eldest daughter's birthday. Speaking of birthdays, so happy birthday, Rachel. She's 30 today.
Happy birthday.
Aww. Yeah, time flies, doesn't it, Jer?
It sure does when you're having fun.
Aw, sounds good. Well, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that weather's been breaking. It's not like 90 degrees every day down here in North Carolina, and we're having a good time down here. And I was going to ask you, how's the weather up there in New Jersey?
New Jersey has had beautiful weather. This is my kind of weather. Mid-70s, a nice breeze, nighttime. The windows are open, the breeze is coming in, and it's just beautiful. Feels like football weather, you know. You want to go out and just cheer away. So it's great. I did want to talk about how the show will proceed tonight. For those of you that are new listeners, welcome. For you old-timers like me and Jer, welcome too. I want to thank you for tuning in. We have a little segment right now, which is our opening segment we like to call minutes. From about 8:10 to 8:30, we will have our guest, and I'm not going to give out any information about Brandon unless you tune in and stay where you are. He'll be on from 8:10 to 8:30, and we're going to include him in the entire second half because there's so much depth and so many different sides to Mr. Brandon Imp that we want to keep him on for the whole show. We will still have a memory lane and a clip, and I think it's going to be an extremely enjoyable, rewarding hour. I did want to thank those people that watched last month. August 8th, we had a wonderful show with Frances Ray, New York Times and USA Today best-selling author. She may be listening in tonight. She's our new best friend, Jer, and I wanted to thank her for all of the work she did last month, and she gave us outstanding numbers, so we're going to try and keep that up every month. Do you have anything else to say, Jer, before we go to our first break?
Yes, I do. I know we're going to have our quote in the next segment.
Yes.
But in lieu of that quote, I have a sort of a quote, and it's from a person by the name of Anonymous.
I love Anonymous. It's Anonymous.
Yes, yes. And the question, and it goes like this. I wonder what life would be like if there were no hypothetical questions?
Now you know why Jane does the quotes. I just want to leave
That's right.
it.
I wonder why. Do you speak? Do you understand what hypothetical? I have no idea what that means, by the way.
Hypothetical questions. We're going to have to ask our next guest. Hopefully, he has answers to all of our questions, including hypotheticals and rhetorical, and all of those.
Someone asked me if I was, speaking hypothetically. I said I don't speak hypothetical. I'm sorry.
I hear you're not bilingual, right?
That's right. I have English and something else, but I haven't figured out what that is yet.
Hypothetical. Anyway, can you give the phone number, Jerry, before we go to break? If somebody wants to call in with a comment and explain what hypothetical means?
I wish they would.
Okay.
It's 1-888-572-0141. That's 1-888-572-0141. Please call us with your comments, your donation, whatever you like to talk about. Give us a call.
There you go. So I would encourage you to stay where you are. We're only going to take a 2-minute break, and then we'll be back with a terrific guest who has a lot of information and has really some wonderful things to share with us. So stay where you are. We'll be back in just a few short minutes.
Always look on the bright side of life. Always look on the bright side of life.
Dublin, Bermuda, New Orleans. Train and travel with Team Diabetes Canada. Walk or run an international marathon and make strides to cure diabetes. Change for the better, for yourself, and for someone you know affected by diabetes. When diabetes enters a person's life, they need someone to turn to. You'll help by supporting diabetes research, education, public service, and advocacy. Team Diabetes information sessions are underway. Your first step is to call 1-800-BANTING.
I can listen. I can cook.
Good. I can coach.
Kids with something to do are less likely to do drugs.
I can drive.
I can paint.
I can dance.
A little of your time can make a lifetime of difference.
I can read.
I can help.
You can help. Call toll-free 1-877-KIDS-313 to find out about community drug prevention programs.
I can keep a kid off drugs.
Imagine climbing the tallest mountain in the world without ever seeing the path in front of you. Imagine winning a television game show without ever seeing television. Blind people reach their dreams every day. Hello, I'm Mark Maurer, president of the National Federation of the Blind. With the proper training and opportunity, blind people become lawyers, professors, and chefs. We develop new technologies and support our communities. We own businesses and homes. We are mothers, fathers, and grandparents. We raise our children and worry about the bills. For more information on blindness, visit our website at www.nfb.org or contact me, Mark Maurer, National Federation of the Blind, 1800 Johnson Street, Baltimore, Maryland, 21230, or call 410-659-9314. We are the voice of the nation's blind.
Always look on the bright side of life. Always look on the bright side of life.
Welcome back to the show. And now, here's Janie.
I want to thank you all for staying where you are. As promised, this next segment and the segment following should be tremendously appreciated. We have a guest with us tonight who was recommended to me by our good friend Brian Mackey. Brian and Brandon went to high school together, I believe, 2006. Brandon is a college graduate from a small school that nobody's ever heard of, something like Cornell, in biology. And he's a first-year med student at Robert Wood Johnson. And he's here with us tonight to share an incredible journey that he took for many months hiking the Appalachian Trail, which is well over 2,000 miles. And so I'd like to introduce Brandon now. Brandon, are you with us?
I am right here, Janie. Hello, everybody.
Hi, honey. Welcome to our show. We're so excited to talk to you.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
Good. Well, Brandon, I know you from our wonderful emails back and forth, and I feel like I've known you forever, even though I've only met you probably this last month. But some people out there have never heard of you. So I'd like you to give a little bit of background about who you are and what you want to share on this show.
Sure. So a little background about me. You did give a nice introduction. I am a 24-year-old sighted man, and I am a first-year medical student at Robert Wood Johnson in New Jersey. And as of July this upcoming year, we will be merged with Rutgers University, so we'll have Rutgers added to our title. I grew up and went to high school with a close friend of mine, Brian Mackey, who is very involved in the Federation for the Blind and Visually Impaired, and has been keeping me up to date on everything that happens in his part of the world. I went to college at Cornell University. I did biology and theater, and towards the end of my college career, two things happened. I decided that I wanted to pursue medicine for my career, so I switched paths and went into medicine full-time so I could go to medical school. And as well, I decided to join my sister and her best friend on their journey to hike the Appalachian Trail. And since then, the Appalachian Trail has changed my life, changed my outlook on life. I'm a much more positive individual because of the Appalachian Trail, and I'm excited to share everything about these past few years and the film that we made about hiking the Appalachian Trail with our guests tonight.
Terrific. Well, I wanted to ask you, so that was your sister's idea or your idea to hike the trail first?
It was my sister's idea originally. Mm-hmm. It took a while.
Go ahead.
It took a while for me to jump on board, and I can tell you a little more about that later, about why I was hesitant.
Okay, that's fine. Can you tell us when you hiked and how long the trail is, and a little bit about how you first felt, and maybe later we'll ask you how that feelings changed after.
Sure. So the Appalachian Trail, it runs from Georgia to Maine, over almost 2,200 miles. I hiked it with my sister and her best friend in 2010 from March 10th through August 10th. So that's 5 full months of living in the wilderness, hiking every day. Originally, how I felt, I thought hiking the Appalachian Trail was a ridiculous idea. I thought it sounded so hard and stressful and scary, and it did not fit into my life plan at all. And well, I guess I can tell you about why I chose to join those two on their Appalachian Trail thru hike. My sister asked me 2 years ahead of our hike if I would join her, and I said absolutely not. That sounds really stressful, so I don't want to do that. But then there's a guy that went to my school, Cornell, and he was a year older. He graduated a semester early, just like I did, and he hiked the Appalachian Trail and wrote a blog while he was doing it, and he hiked with his dog. And I love dogs, so I jumped on board to his blog immediately and followed him the entire way. And when he finished and wrote that he broke down on top of the final mountain and is crying, I was crying at my computer and realized this is something that I've never experienced before, and I want to understand what that feeling is like. And immediately I called my sister and told her that I'm in.
Brandon, I have a question. Where did you actually start? Did you start up in the north, or did you start in the south?
We started in the south, in Georgia. And the reason that we started in the south is because it works by seasons, and we had a set amount of time. We knew that we had, late winter through the end of summer was our time to hike, and it just follows the seasons. If we started in March in Maine, we'd be under feet of snow, and it's not possible to hike north to south.
There you go. That sounds logical. Can you tell me why they call it a thru-hike?
Yeah, so, the Appalachian Trail is really long, and anybody can hike the trail. It's a free national trail protected by the United States and as well as local organizations and a national nonprofit organization. Some people decide to do a through hike, which is hike from one end all the way to the other end in one attempt. Not everybody who hikes the Appalachian Trail necessarily does a through hike. There are day hikers, and there are also people we call section hikers, which hike anywhere from 2 days worth of the Appalachian Trail to the majority of the trail, and they just leave those last few miles for something else.
Mm-hmm. And so what's the most dangerous spot of the Appalachian Trail? Like, how high up is it, or how treacherous is it, things like that? Can you share that with us?
Sure, definitely. So I would say the most dangerous part of the Appalachian Trail, it usually is based on the weather at the time. So for us, it was very much in the beginning when it was still winter. There was feet of snow on the ground in the Great Smoky Mountains in North Carolina and Tennessee. And we were combating hypothermia. We were freezing. We didn't have enough food, and dehydration. And it's also close to the beginning of the trail, so we were still, getting physically in shape and figuring out what supplies were working for us, what food was working for us, and what wasn't working.
So about how many miles did you do each day? Is there an approximation for that?
Our approximation of mileage?
Yes.
So in the beginning, we had lower miles and lower expectations. So we hiked probably 8 to 10 miles a day for the first week, and then we would pick it up to about 15 miles a day. And when we were finally physically in shape after 3 or 4 weeks of hiking every day, we averaged 20 to 25 miles per day for the last couple months.
Wow.
That's a lot.
That is a lot. My goodness. Jerry, have any questions?
Well, I was wondering if you could tell us the states that this. I noticed that you mentioned my beloved state of North Carolina, but could you talk about what states you went through and something like that?
So the Appalachian Trail runs through 14 states, and let me see if I can actually get all 14. So there's Georgia, North Carolina, Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia. You're testing me right now. West Virginia, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, New York. Oh, Maryland I missed. New York, Connecticut, Massachusetts, Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine. All the way up the East Coast.
Very good. What was your most favorite part of the trip? Where was it most scenic, let's say?
Ooh. The most scenic part, by far, are the White Mountains in New Hampshire.
I knew you were going to say that. My daughter went to Dartmouth. That was a trick question.
Yeah. Yeah, she's very fortunate to be living in that, having lived in that region. It was breathtaking. So the White Mountains are they're so tall, and the weather up there changes very rapidly. So there's something called a tree line that when you get above a certain elevation, the oxygen levels, and due to weather as well, are significantly lower. And so the trees just don't grow as tall. And as soon as you get above tree line, the trees just don't grow at all. And as you're approaching tree line, you see these great big pine trees that are usually 40, 50 feet tall, shrinking and shrinking until they're about 4 feet tall, and you're actually taller than these trees. And then all of a sudden you're above tree line, and in the White Mountains you walk above tree line for a couple days straight, and you just have views all around you, 360 degrees, and it is unlike anything I've ever seen before.
That's fascinating.
Did you do it again?
I would not hike the Appalachian Trail again. However, I am very proud of my accomplishment, and I am so glad that I did it. And I highly encourage that anybody who has the dream to hike the Appalachian Trail or another long-distance trail to go do it. The reason that I say that I won't hike the Appalachian Trail again, thru-hike, I would say. I would do a day hike or a section hike, but I wouldn't thru-hike again just because I liked the adventure part of it. And life is full of adventures, not just being outside, but, you know, learning. Right now I'm in medical school, and I consider that an adventure, or taking on a new responsibility, just doing something new and exciting. And that's what I loved about the Appalachian Trail. I got out of it what I was seeking to get out of it, and I don't want to alter my memories. I want to continue going on adventures.
Super. So to me, when you were describing the tree line, it almost sounded like Gulliver's Travels, you know? Well, at one point you were tiny, and then the next point you were the big one, and the trees were tiny. It's kind of interesting. I wanted to ask you, because I have a couple of brothers myself. You have a sister there that you hiked with. Did you get closer with her, hopefully, after that? Or were you close beforehand? And then during the hike said, hike this, I'm getting out of here.
Yes. So my sister and I were always fairly close growing up, but to a point of we were always on the same side, and we encouraged each other to take on all these challenges. But she's 3 years older than I am, so we just didn't necessarily have too many grand experiences together. Mm-hmm. This Appalachian Trail thru-hike, we're with each other. We stayed in the same campsite every single night for 5 months. And I am so close to her now. She is one of my best friends. She knows everything about my life. I talk with her every day now, and it has changed. The Appalachian Trail has changed our relationship for the better.
There you go. So you can actually give advice to couples that are having trouble in their life. Don't go to a psychiatrist. Don't go to a psychologist or a therapist. Just hike the trail together.
Just take a hike.
Yeah, there you go. Just take a hike.
But
that's a beautiful story.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Did you collect anything like rocks, specimens, leaves, or, you know, I know you would write a log and you would video, but did you collect anything?
You know, I didn't collect anything on my hike, mostly because you have to carry everything on your back. So ounces equal pounds, and I needed to get rid of a lot of ounces because I had a very heavy backpack.
That's why they make cameras.
Yeah, there you go. You know what? We have a caller on line 1. Our first caller tonight is a person named Brian, and he's here to talk with us. With us tonight, love?
Hey, Jane.
Hi, honey. How are you? Thank you so much for loaning us your friend.
No problem. Yeah. Brandon, I mentioned we went to the high school together, and believe it or not, I think I was the first visually impaired person that Brandon has ever met. And
that's a scary thought.
Yeah, to me, I know.
For our college years, and yeah, it was really neat following Brandon while he was on the hike. Like every so often, he would write something on his blog, like, "Ooh, where is he now? What is he doing?" And yeah, it was real neat just to know that somebody that I really knew was hiking the Appalachian Trail.
There it is.
That's
what do you say about that, Brandon?
I'm so glad at least Brian was following my blog. Yeah, it was, I, as Brian said, and as we said earlier, like, Brian is one of my closest friends, and I've known him for a long time, and Brian is one of those people for me that keeps me grounded. I just feel that I am frequently going out on crazy adventures or trying to do something new and exciting, and then Brian and I stay in touch either by phone calls or emails, and you know, Brian helps me realize that I am still in the real world and helps me prioritize and not do too many things at once.
Oh, that's good. All right. Well, Brian, thank you so much for calling. We appreciate it, and I really am thankful. Brian sends me messages about books to read. I do a book corner usually, which I'm not going to do tonight because we have you on, and we don't need a book when you're on, Brandon. But Brian offers me many suggestions, quotes, all kinds of things throughout the month. And I just want to publicly thank you for that, Brian.
No problem.
Terrific. Well, thank you for calling in, and we'll talk with you again, honey.
No. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Terrific.
So, Brandon, I have another question. Where the Appalachian Trail goes from Pennsylvania to New Jersey to New York, do you know? Can you remember where that, it would pass through in that area?
Right. So it passes through. Let's see. Well, I definitely know the New Jersey area. The border between Pennsylvania and New Jersey is very far north at the Delaware Water Gap, and that's where we cross. Literally, we cross a highway to get from Pennsylvania to New Jersey. And we follow New Jersey along the northern border. We stay very close to the New Jersey-New York border. We go through towns like, we cross into Unionville, New York, which is right on the border, and then we go to Vernon, New Jersey, and eventually we head back up through the Bear Mountain region in New York, and that's around where we cross from New Jersey to New York.
Terrific. And there were no tolls on that road, right? You said there was a highway there.
Well, I didn't have to pay a toll. I didn't see any toll booths, but it could be there.
I think it took a toll on you, I think is what it did. Oh, brother.
Yes.
I think so.
Any more questions, Jared? We're going to go to break in about 2 minutes. So you have one more question for him right now?
Well, I was just wondering, see, if I was taking this trip, I would have to be scheduling motels and hotel visits and stuff like that. But you were right out in the open. I mean, that's, maybe when you come back, you can share some experiences about being out in the open, maybe in a storm or something like that. What do you think, Janie?
I think that'd be good. Absolutely wonderful. And also about where you got your food and all of that kind of stuff. How you replenished yourself for the trip. Would you be willing to share that in the second half?
I would love to share that in the second half.
Good. And then also in the second half, for those of you that are thinking of dropping this call and going somewhere else at 8:30, I wouldn't suggest doing that because we're going to talk about Brandon's movie, documentary, and also some other neat things about who he is. So I would encourage you to stay where you are. When we come back, we're going to go straight to a little memory lane clip. And then I'll talk to Jerry for a second. He'll tell us why we're going to go clip. And then we're going to continue with Brandon. So please stay where you are. We have about a 4-minute break coming up. And then we'll be back with the second half of the show. And you won't want to miss it. Stay where you are. We'll be back in just 4 short minutes.
Always look on the bright side of life. Always look on the bright side of life.
Hey, Jack, you got a sec?
Yeah, sure, come on in.
Yeah, I was wondering if you... Jack, your hair's on fire.
Yeah, I know. I just need to finish this sales report, and then I'll probably, I don't know, let me lie down for a bit. But I'm sure it'll go away.
But the flames are getting bigger. Shouldn't I... Your hair, there's so much fire.
No, I'll be fine. What can I help you with? Oh, dear. Well, at least we know the sprinkler system works.
You wouldn't ignore this, so why ignore the signs of a stroke? If you or someone you know suddenly experiences numbness of the face, arm, or leg, or sudden trouble speaking, seeing, or walking, don't wait to get help. Call 911 right away, because time lost is brain lost. To find out more, visit www.strokeassociation.org or call 1-888-4STROKE. This message brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
Are you stuck in front of your computer listening to our shows? Well, you may be happy to know that you don't have to be anymore. Hi, this is Keith Zalley, your announcer here at WTOE Radio. Of course you know we broadcast live on thru-hike.org, but did you know we simulcast on Facebook, Ustream.tv, as well as all of our show's host websites. And now you don't have to be stuck trying to catch your favorite show on your computer. You can listen or even watch our shows live right on your smartphone or iPad. During broadcast nights, just point your phone or iPad browser to our mobile site, m.thru-hike.org, and click on the Listen or Watch Live link. WTOE also offers many smart apps for your iPhone, BlackBerry, Android, Windows Mobile, or Nokia phones, iPads too, all for free. Visit our main site, www.thruoureyes.org/appstores.html, and download your free app today.
Janine Marks, a 12-year-old, was fairly normal. She spent a lot of time online. One day, she met a new friend. The new friend had the same problems at home. They liked the same bands. They worried about the same subjects in school. They promised to keep each other's secrets. They wished they went to the same junior high. The new friend had good news. He said he was going to be in Janine's area one Saturday. He thought it would be amazing if they could just hang out, go to the mall. Janine agreed. The new friend didn't want parents messing this up. Janine showed up alone. So did her new friend, who wasn't in junior high, wasn't nice, and wasn't a 14-year-old boy. Last year, 1 in 5 children was sexually solicited online. Help delete online predators. Call 1-800-THE-LOST or visit cybertipline.com to learn how to protect your kids' online life. A message from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children and the Ad Council.
Hi, Jessica.
Hi, Mrs. Johnson. Is Megan there?
Sure. Follow me. The kids are in the kitchen making sandwiches.
Hey, Julie. Hi, Jessica. Hi, Megan. Hey, Megan.
Yeah?
You're a total freak. God, you're ugly. And dumb. Oh, and your makeup makes you look like a tramp. Tommy Morris told me you guys made out. Everybody knows. The whole school knows. He said your breath smelled like garbage, and he almost puked. He says you're the most desperate girl he knows. And that dress is totally hideous. You look like a big fat clown. Disgusting. Oh, and by the way, nice zit.
If you wouldn't say it in person, why say it online? Delete cyberbullying. Don't write it, don't forward it. For more information, visit ncpc.org. A message from the U.S. Department of Justice, Crime Prevention Coalition of America, National Crime Prevention Council, and the Ad Council.
Always look on the bright side of life. Always look on the bright side of life.
Well, thank you, everybody. I'm glad you're here. We're going to go to a memory lane clip in a few minutes, but I want to pass it off to Jerry. And I don't want to pass it off to Jerry. I'm going to take this one. Okay, we're in the second half now, and we have with us Brandon. And this half will have information about his documentary, relationships, where to go to find this documentary, and a couple of YouTube videos. So maybe we can just go to memory lane first, Len, and then we'll come back. All right? Very good.
Memory lane. Memory lane. I walk memory lane all alone and blue. You walk memory lane with my
Okay, so that was someone related to Jerry. And that's why that clip is on tonight, because the person, one of the people in that clip is related to Jerry. Jerry, are you with us now? Okay. Well,
Hear me?
Yeah, there you are. Good. Jerry, hi, honey. Could you explain that video?
Sure. That was Outside the Box, and it was a clip from the song from their new album, which was released last year, called The Bridge. And Jeff Gaffone, which is my niece Lynn's son, is on vocals and guitar there. And currently they're touring Europe, Spain, Germany, Austria. Recent graduate from NYU, and now he's traveling, and he does tours in the United States. And one thing is, remember the Stone Pony in Asbury Park? Well, he's played there as the house band for the last couple of years. And I know it's not normally my genre, my type of music, but since he did it, the album is really nice. It's called The Bridge. Get it on Amazon and turn it over to you, Janie.
All right. So you know what? He conquered something that he thought he wouldn't be able to conquer. And that bridge will lead us to Brandon. Brandon, you conquered something that maybe you thought you'd never conquer. And that's the gist of this show. The gist of On the Bright Side is to say, step out of the box, if you will, and do something. Step forward. Life moves on. And try and make a challenge become an opportunity. So on that note, how did the trail change from a big obstacle to an opportunity for you, Brandon?
That is a fantastic question.
All right, I'm glad I have you on the show. Good, woohoo!
The trail changed me in a way that it gave me, it reinstilled my faith in humanity and the goodness of people, and that there's a lot more than meets the eye. One thing that I love to talk about the Appalachian Trail is something called trail magic. And trail magic is when other hikers, or most likely people that are not hiking, do something kind out of the goodness of their heart for Appalachian Trail thru hikers. That can be offering them a ride into town, or maybe they leave a snack on the side of the trail for them, like an apple or a soda, something like that. And when you just have so little going on in your day besides hiking, any kind act coming from other people really changes your day around, and you remember it for a week. And a lot of trail magic opportunities that came our way, I've remembered since hiking the Appalachian Trail. And just those random acts of kindness have carried with me since the Appalachian Trail that I didn't necessarily see before the trail on a regular basis. And that's just an example of why the Appalachian Trail reinstilled my passion for life and my faith in the goodness of other people.
That's beautiful. You know, I often say to people, I like the phrasing, a random act of loving kindness. I mean, it's easy sometimes to help somebody and get a claim for it. Oh, she donated this much money and she bought the church or the zoo a bench, and in there is an inscription, donated by whatever. But to actually just do something to do it because people care is more meaningful, even if it costs them $1 versus $1,000. That's when the jig is up. When you really figure it out and you say, there are beautiful people in the world, and they just shared a part of who they are simply, and that's all you need to do is a simple act, and it made a difference to you. I love that story.
Thank you. It really did make a difference to me, and now in my everyday life, I was a very positive person before, but now it's, I wake up in the morning and I just say, what awesome thing can happen today? And I today go to school, and the first person I see, I give them a hug. And when somebody asks me, how's my day going? No matter how awful it should be going, because I've been sitting in lecture for 7 hours straight, I say, it's going great. And just staying positive and spreading that positive, healthy, loving mentality is just a simple way to give to others, because I've received so much in my life up until this point.
Terrific. Well, you know, Brandon, we have your YouTube video ready. So can you give us a little, actually, I think the quote, which we didn't do, is in this YouTube video, isn't it?
Sorry, can you repeat that one more time? You cut out
Sure.
a little bit.
Is the quote that I was going to ask you to do, because it's your quote, is that part of our YouTube video trailer that's coming up?
I don't believe that it is in the YouTube video, so I can read it if you'd like.
I would love for you to read it, and then can you give us a little lead-in into the trailer, and then say, Lenny, take it away, and he'll be ready to go. I'm going to leave that up to you, okay?
All right, that sounds great.
Great.
So our quote for tonight comes from Kurt Hahn, who is the founder of Outward Bound, and it is, "There is more to us than we know. If we can be made to see it, perhaps for the rest of our lives, we will be unwilling to settle for less." This quote opens up our film, Beauty Beneath the Dirt, and really tells about the context of the film. Not only is it about hiking the Appalachian Trail, but it's about three individuals who are in their young 20s, have career goals, know what they want to do with their lives, and all three of us, we said, I'm not sure if I can hike the Appalachian Trail, so I'm going to try it and see if I can. And I'm going to do it with these other people so that I can get closer to them and find out what I can learn about life. And that's what Beauty Beneath the Dirt is about.
So and I think, Lenny, can you take...
I was really stressed with law school exams, and I thought I'd rather be hiking the Appalachian Trail. There's something really intriguing and exciting about embarking on a journey that you don't know where it leads.
We're building a great group dynamic.
We just got into a really good groove.
I didn't realize it would be that hard to set up a tent.
It's been a while since I've taken on something so risky and adventurous.
The least fun roller coaster I've ever been on. It's 10 peaks and 13 miles. How many have we done?
We're on our third.
We've only done 3?
Honestly, this has never been a dream of mine.
I used to tell people that I preferred traveling by myself.
There's a boy that I met out here that I'm interested in getting to know.
This is not Barbie land.
I've had a crush on him since the day that I met him.
There's only one thing that can break a true friendship between women, and that's a man.
I don't feel like I'm learning that much new about myself.
I feel really alone out here.
I really wish that Kate and I could get along like we used to.
You left out here, Em. I didn't leave you! It's not that I can't come back. I don't know that I want to.
So, Brandon, there's a lot of emotions and a lot of relationship changes in that video. Can you tell us about them?
Definitely. So, to put it in context, the three hikers that you primarily see are myself, Brandon, my sister, Kate, and her best friend, Emily. A fourth guy comes in who we all have trail names. We don't go by our societal names on the trail. So his name is Prophet, and he becomes a romantic interest with Emily. It's 5 months of living, and within any 5-month period, you have your ups and downs. Even within a single day, you have ups and downs. And for 5 months, the three of us were together. Maybe not every second of the day, but we shared every meal together, and we stayed in the same campsite every night together. So we had a lot of time together. And when you're having ups and downs, and there's only two other people around you, sometimes you go through them together. Sometimes you're having the best days of your lives together, and other days you just think, I can't believe I'm out here with this person because I never want to see them again. And our film shows our ups and downs. It's very truthful. It's very emotional, and it shows the best days of our lives and the worst days of our lives.
So where are Kate and Emily now in their relationship after that trail?
So I've shared with you mine and my sister's relationship just because she's my sister, but I don't want to share quite right now where Kate and Emily's relationship is. You'll have to see the film to see if their relationship grew stronger or if it broke.
And can you tell us where people, that was a lead-in, can you tell us where people can get that film or see that film, and a little bit about the website you have?
Definitely. So the website that you all should check out is beautybeneaththedirt.com, and it's the title of the film, Beauty Beneath the Dirt, right there on the screen there. And so on the website, you can see a bunch of things. You'll see our blog and about us and some video clips. Our YouTube channel is linked to there. And on YouTube, our channel is called thru-hike 2010. We have the trailer and about 12 to 13 videos taken from the trail. To see the full feature film, it is not being sold currently on DVD, though we are very, very close to getting it on iTunes. But if you check out the website, we're actually showing it at multiple locations throughout the country in the next few months. A lot in Chicago. We'll be going out to LA in October, LaFemme International Film Festival. And it'll be shown in Virginia soon as well. So check out the website for frequent updates.
Terrific. Jared, it's your turn. How about a question from you, honey?
Yes, Brandon, I was thinking, you talked about the start, you talked about the middle, but could you give us a little bit about like when you arrived in Maine, how you felt, your emotions, and I have a sort of a weird question. Did you hike back or did you take a different transport home?
Well, to answer the second question first, our parents actually met us at the end of the trail, and so I got a ride back to New Jersey, my home state, with my parents. So I did not have to hike, because, that'll take a few months to hike backwards. And the emotions that ran through me in Maine, it was crazy because I was so, by the time we got to Maine, it was 4.5 months of living in the woods. I was physically exhausted. I was mentally exhausted. I was emotionally exhausted. Everything about me was ready to break, and I could see the end. And seeing the end kind of made me really, really excited, like knowing that I am so close to finishing this accomplishment. It's just like unbelievable. I can't believe that I've pushed myself hard enough to do this. And then 30 seconds later, I'll feel, geez, I love this experience and I never want to get off the trail. And 30 seconds later, I'm screaming at the top of my lungs about how much pain I'm in. I'm just like, this is the worst thing. Can't I just quit right now? Why aren't I done? So I went through all conflicting emotions.
How close were you to saying that's it? It's over.
There were, not in Maine, but in 2 parts of the hike, I said out loud that I wanted to quit. One was in North Carolina, and one was in New Hampshire. And the first time in North Carolina, it was in the Smoky Mountains, and I was physically just taxed, suffering from mild hypothermia. I grew a bone spur, so I was in my heel, so I was in a lot of pain from that. And it had been raining, freezing rain in the mountains for 3 days straight, so I was just shivering uncontrollably and losing my mind. So physically, the first time. But as soon as I said it out loud, I was like, well, good, I got that off my shoulders. I can continue on now. And then the second time was in New Hampshire, and that was from emotional and mental burnout. New Hampshire is the second to last state, so I could sort of see the end. In the sense that I knew that I only had a few weeks left, and I could tell how many miles were left. And I was so ready to just move on with my life, get back to society, apply for jobs, and really get back into the swing of things, sleep in a bed. I really missed my friends. I grew up with a dog, and I found out in the middle of New Hampshire in the White Mountains that he had to be put down. And I was so burned out that I just didn't have the will to carry on. But again, as soon as I said out loud that I quit, I'm done, it was like, well, that's off my shoulders. I can do this. Let's keep going. One foot in front of the other.
That's pretty spectacular. And you did do it. You did go forward, even though all of us have our own situations where we're down in the dumps, or, we might get side roaded somewhere. We hit off the side of the road and we're in, a quiet lane somewhere, and we think to ourselves, how do we get back on the road? Somehow, if you have it in you, you can do it. And you tell yourself, after you complain, right, you let it out, I don't want to do this anymore. And then take a deep breath, regroup, and keep going. I think that's the message of who you are, where you are, and what the movie is all about. But Brandon, I was wondering one more different topic. I heard that you volunteered for the protest against Goodwill and the sub-minimum wage. And as a sighted person, I know you're friends with Brian, but that was a big undertaking. Can you share with us where you were in New Jersey, what you did that day for the audience? Can you do that now?
Definitely, I would love to. So I was at the Goodwill located in East Brunswick, New Jersey, which is about a 10-15 minute drive from where I'm currently living. And, Brian told me about this protest and told me the reasons behind it, that Goodwill, because of a policy, they're able to pay disabled individuals sub-minimum wage. And as soon as he told me that, I was just so furious because, I do have a lot of respect for Goodwill, and I couldn't believe that this was happening at a significant number of Goodwills across the country. And he said that there was a national protest going on. I looked into it, and there was a Goodwill in my area. The Goodwill the protest lasted 2 hours. And so I said, I'm a busy medical student, but I think that I can take 2 hours out of my schedule to help this incredible cause, something that is really close to my heart. So I went to Goodwill, and I stood out in front of the store and had a bunch of flyers, and people were coming into the store, and they were going in to shop at the store. And I handed the flyers. I said, we're asking people to protest the Goodwill and to boycott Goodwill until this policy is changed. And people listened to me. A bunch of people still went in the store, but some people did turn around. They said, I can't believe this is happening, and thank you for sharing this. And they turned around and did not enter the store. It was incredible.
Fantastic.
Well, from NFB, we want to thank you for doing that. There were, as I understand, about 90 protests, quiet protests, reserved protests. There was no screaming and carrying on. It was handing out flyers, making people aware this is happening. And so many people had no clue. A lot of us did emails. Some of us didn't get out and protest at a specific facility, but we might have sent it or remitted it to our entire contacts. And many of my friends posted it on their Facebook. Some people work in a library. They took it in, and, so little by little, all of us in our own way have helped to make this grow into a major. And I want to thank you from the NFB for doing that, because usually the NFB people do it for ourselves, but not necessarily a sighted person takes 2 hours. And again, you're still a busy person doing med school, and I know what that's like, studying for your tests and exams and getting into the swing of things. And I just want to thank you from the NFB standpoint for standing up for us and with us about this issue.
Of course, it was my pleasure. I would do it again in a heartbeat.
Be careful what you say. I'll put you on the list.
He's already on the list.
Yeah, there is. Okay. So, Jerry, we only have a couple of minutes, so we're going to wrap it up with Brandon. I want you to, do your last question, comment, or whatever, and then I'm going to ask Brandon to give his
Sure.
websites and things, and then we'll do our own sign-off. Go ahead, Jer.
Well, we had our protest in North Carolina at Winston-Salem. There was about 30 of us, and we weren't exactly quiet. We did, hey, hey, what do you say? Equal work, equal pay. But you'll have to figure out who led that chant.
I can't imagine.
But yeah, but Brandon, I just want to say how what you have done in other respects, people have done with, in blindness areas and other disabilities where they just put their mind to doing something, and that's what we always do on the bright side. We always look for that bright side. And I just wanted to compliment you on your perseverance. And I know that in a few years we'll see Dr. That was a shingle, like we call it, hanging somewhere. But just give us one more time about how you felt, maybe when you got home in your bed, if about a couple of seconds of that.
How I felt was, wow. I'm actually tearing up a little bit right now just thinking about how I felt lying there. I was numb, I would say. I was actually numb. There were so many emotions that had gone through me for so long, and to just lay in a bed and take it all in, it was so overwhelming that I became numb. And then the next thought that I had was, what's next?
Super. Well, Brandon, believe it or not, we're down to our last minute, so I'm going to say that the website is www.beneaththedirt.com. Is that correct? Beautybeneaththedirt.com. That's it. Beautybeneaththedirt.com. And we want to thank you for being our guest. I want to remind everybody that next month we'll be here again in October, probably October 10th, I think.
That's right.
And I hope that you stay with us.
10-10.
Mm-hmm. What, Jer?
No, I just said 10-10.
10-10, thank you. And I want to thank Brandon from the bottom of our heart for sharing his thoughts and his whole trip and who he is. You continue to do all the great work you're doing, and I know you're going to make a difference in this world, kiddo. So thank everybody. Keep reading, everybody. My senior division, we had our first senior division book club, statewide book club. It was a hoot. And today we had a book club with the Echo Group, and that was another fun day. So keep reading, keep learning, keep doing, keep moving forward. And from Jerry and I, always look on the bright side of life. Good night.
Good night.
Always look on the bright side of life. Always look on the light side of life.
All words, ideas, and content expressed on the bright side are solely those of Jane Degenshine and Jerry Marino,
and not necessarily those of the National Federation of the Blind, the Northeast New Jersey chapter, or WTOE Internet Radio Network.
If life seems jolly rotten, there's something you've forgotten, and that's to laugh and smile and dance and sing. When you're feeling in the dumps, down with silly chumps, just purse your lips and whistle, that's the thing. Hey, always look on the bright side of life. Come on, guys, cheer up. Always look on the bright side of life. Always look on the bright side of life. Worst things happen at sea, you know. Always look on the bright side of life. I mean, what you gonna lose? You know, you come from nothing, you're going back to nothing. What have you lost? Always look on the bright side of life.
Melt